Should you pay off debt before investing? Many of us have encountered this question at some point. Why would you choose to pay off debt when you could invest that money to make more money than the debt is costing you? Is it preferable to invest excess cash so it grows and generates exponential returns for your future? Or is it better to utilize it to pay off or at least reduce debt you've accumulated? The truth is that any option is plausible, but you may be shocked by the distinction that this simple choice will create. In certain circumstances, the decisions made today might determine a future difference of hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. We will help you to decide whether is it better to pay off debt or invest. Hello everyone and welcome to Finance Wisdom. In this video, we're going to talk about is it better to pay off debt or invest? Must watch. If you are new to this channel, do like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have a solid financial basis before deciding whether to invest or pay off debt. This essentially entails saving up enough money in an emergency fund that is only used for unforeseen expenditures. Paying off debt or investing is useless if you don't have money put aside, since a single financial disaster might send you back to square one. If you don't have any cash in hand and your automobile needs significant repairs, you'll have to make money out of your assets or go into debt to pay for it. A respectable amount to strive for before going ahead is 3 to 6 months worth of spending in savings. The additional space you'll have in your budget when different debt payments are being taken out of your account is perhaps the nicest aspect of paying off debt and being debt-free. Self-employment may be challenging. The more bills you have, the more likely you are to be living paycheck to paycheck and barely scraping by. When this occurs, it seems as if you are just going to work each day to pay your expenses and not moving your finances forward. Even though your loan debt may be gradually decreasing, a significant portion of your payments go to the lender as interest. Once all your debt have been paid off, you will feel as if you have gotten a significant rise, since you will be clipping a lot more of your income. It is significantly simpler to boost your retirement contributions when you are debt-free, which may allow you to retire earlier. Many people decide to invest their spare money before paying off all of their debt. The reason behind this is that they might generate significant profits, since the return on their assets may be much more than the interest on their obligations. Is it really worth it to pay off debt at a 5% interest rate when you could make 10% or more on investments? Risk is the main consideration when deciding whether to rapidly reduce debt or invest more funds. Waiting a long time before investing might cost you a lot of compound interest, which would increase your wealth over time. You practically receive a guaranteed return when you pay off debt. If you pay off a loan for which a credit card company is charging 30%, you will have earned 30% without any risks. There is always some risk associated with investing. Is it conceivable to invest in the S&P 500 and get a return of at least 10%? Yes, the S&P 500 has grown by an average of more than 10% a year since its inception. According to Investopedia, the market has, however, sometimes produced negative returns. For example, in 2000, it returned a negative 10%, followed by a negative 13% in 2000, and a negative 23% in 2002. After that, there were a few years of success until 2008, when it returned minus 38%. The likelihood that you will produce a profit in the long run is good, but returns aren't guaranteed, so keep this in mind while you carry out your financial strategy. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Consider the straightforward real-world comparison between paying off debt and making stock market investments. Consider that you had a $370,000 mortgage with a 30-year term. You will pay a modest interest rate of 5.13% or $2,016 each month. You have an additional $1,000 in your budget, which you plan to either use to pay down your mortgage or invest in. And you're earning a respectable living at work. You are unsure of which, however, is more likely to improve your situation at the conclusion of the 30-year loan term. Scenario 1 pays down the mortgage. Instead of letting that mortgage drag on for 3 decades, you may become debt-free in 15 years by making an additional $1,000 per month main payment. This implies that you will only pay $172,880 in interest over the course of the loan. And you will contribute $3,016 every month in addition to the additional $1,000 monthly investment. A 30-year investment of $3,016 a month will result in a total of $1,211,290. At the conclusion of the 30-year term, you will have a total of $1,038,410 after deducting the amount you have already invested from the $172,880 in interest that you paid. This calculation is just your total cumulative amount less the interest you paid. The second scenario, investing after paying the bare minimum. If you invested your additional $1,000 each month in addition to making the minimum mortgage payment, you would end up paying a staggering $355,760 in interest over the course of the mortgage's 30-year term. The amount will have increased to $2,079,293 by investing $1,000 each month in the SP 500 and assuming an average return of 10%. This is much greater than in the first scenario. Your entire investment of $2,079,293 less the interest of $355,760 leaves you with $1,723,533. The difference between total and scenario 2 and total and scenario 1 is $685,123. This means that because of how money grows over time, if you put your extra $1,000 per month into the SP 500 instead of paying down your mortgage, you'd have over $685,123 more at the end of 30 years. That sum might be the difference between being able to retire and having to work for a number of additional years. Of course, this presupposes a respectable average return over a lengthy period of time and ignores the risk associated with stock market trading. Inflation is one of the key things working in your favor with a 30-year mortgage. For the duration of the loan, the mortgage payment will always be the same dollar amount, but over time, the dollar will depreciate in value. This implies that you may repay your debt with money that is now worth less than it did before. If inflation is 4% on an average, the dollar will regain its value once every 18 years. Simply stated, your mortgage payment is only half as much as it was when you took out the loan, around 18 years ago. You may invest in assets that stay up with and outpace the rate of inflation while paying off debt with dollars that are less valuable than they once were, giving you the best of both worlds. When considering whether is it better to pay off debts or invest, a mortgage is a more severe case for two reasons. The first is that a mortgage is often a very low interest loan, possibly the lowest one available, with an average mortgage rate of between 4% and 4% in 2022. As a result, you are borrowing money for almost nothing since it is so close to the inflation rate. In fact, some investors favor mortgages as a result. The second is that mortgages are lengthy loans with an average maturity of 30 years. With such a lengthy loan period, the decision of whether to invest more funds or pay off the debt is much more important and should be carefully considered. It's not as simple as one may first believe when considering whether or not to pay off debt, so there are a few factors to think about. Cash flow is undoubtedly a significant advantage that may free up your budget, which is crucial for older investors who are preparing for retirement. Your primary focus should be cash flow, not which method will provide a higher return in 30 years. When choosing a plan, risk must also be taken into account, and this must be understood. In general, employing low-interest loans and paying off high-interest loans will result in the most long-term benefit. Also think about combining the two, utilizing additional money to both invest and progressively pay off debt. You should also think about doing both, utilizing extra money to make investments and progressively pay off debt at the same time. People have strong views on this subject. You must weigh the risks and rewards in order to choose which course of action is best for you. The figures appropriately portray each situation. Think about the advantages and disadvantages of each choice. We've reached the end of another video and thank you for watching. I hope we helped you decide whether is it better to pay off debt or invest. If you like this video, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below. Thank you and goodbye!